Hello and welcome. Come on in, take your shoes off, make yourself at home. You're a house guest. And of course, I'm talking again about house music this week and the sample behind Lady, Hear Me Tonight, or Hear Me Tonight, you might say. And this is by Modjo. Let's give it a listen. Even made me do the cube and eat the cube, which is an elusive move. But anyway, let's talk a bit about this song. It was released in 2000, right? It was released at the time when house music was all over the place in the mainstream. This song went to number 1 in the UK and charted very well in other places. Modjo, the guys behind it, are from France, and France were pumping out the bangers at this point in time. I think it was a couple of videos ago when I did Daft Punk, I talked a bit about that French house movement, or the Chateau Le France, as I don't think anyone called it, as well as the other bands that came along with this. You had Stardust, you had, of course, Daft Punk, Bob Sinclair, Cassius, a bunch of them doing a lot of great stuff with a great sound, and often a disco loop just like this one. Great stuff, and just to even hear that stuff on the radio at the time was amazing. But it's timeless, right? It's a great song. Let's get into the sample of which it came from, right? And this band, their influence is huge, not only in samples but in the way they played, right? It's of course Chic. Do you know them? Do you know Chic? Do you know Chic? Do you know this? You know that tune now. Please tell me you know that tune. If you don't know that one, they even got a bit of French going on there. But this was a band formed by two legends in their own right. You had guitar man and the bass man, Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards, or Bernard Edwards, or Bernard Edwards, but I think he went by Bernard Edwards. An amazing bassist, known for these really expressive, like melodic types of driving compressed bass that, I don't know, changed the way in a lot of ways, I guess, paved the way, you could say. But these two guys, in a way, they met while playing for Sesame Street. Yeah, Sesame Street has done so much good for the world, but they also brought us Chic. And they, yeah, like I said, they kind of came in during the disco movement and brought a bit more craftsmanship and jazz to it, and just really, at the same time, catchy pop kind of vibes, and just an incredible band. They went on to work with Sister Sledge for We Are Family, similar vibe, but then Nile Rodgers in particular went on to work with David Bowie, Diana Ross, Madonna, Daft Punk, right, even later on in life. Bernard, absolute legend, unfortunately passed away a bit too early for his time in 1996, I believe, right after a big gig in Japan, in the Budokan. So you can hear that final performance of his. An amazing bassist, and because this is a sample show, it would be a shame not to talk about one of the most infamous samples, also from Chic, and from Bernard himself, slapping away on Good Times. An incredible bass line, right? And there's an instrumental part, I believe around 3 minutes, that was sampled for Rapper's Delight, okay? Which was the first mainstream rap song, right? And it took the bass right out of this. Let's give that a listen. Let's see if you recognize that. You know that song? I said a hip hop, the hibbit to the hip hop, and you don't stop the rockin' to the bang bang, but they say up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie the beat. Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the crew, and my friends, we're gonna try to move your feet. Like the you know that song, come on, you know it. Don't tell me you don't know it. Don't look me in the eyes and tell me that, okay? Let's get into the sample they used, Modjo used. It comes from the album Soup for One. So like I said, these guys worked with loads of artists. They were hot stuff, right? Pardon the pun. And they also did this motion soundtrack for a film, Soup for One, which I haven't seen, but it's an interesting soundtrack, and it has one of my favorite dance floor fillers of all time. Old Ned used to play this on the dance floors back in the day. Let's give it a listen. Bernard slamming it there with Carly Simon on vocals for Why. And the interesting thing with this soundtrack is it is kind of like sad funk. That's kind of reggae sad funk, but the song we'll take a listen to now, Soup for One, also has sad lyrics. So I guess there was some sadness or loneliness in the soundtrack that they then wrote the songs about. But yeah, who knows? Maybe watch the movie, or if you've seen it, comment below and say this is why the songs have sad meanings behind them. I'd like to know, right? You tell me. But anyway, let's take a listen to Soup for One.
Soup for one. When you're on the run, when you're by yourself, minus someone else. Why must I be so depressed? I feel I'm not like the rest.
So yeah, you got that funky tune with a guy saying, why must I feel so depressed? We don't know. All right, you tell us. But yeah, they took the beautiful guitar line there, you hear, and sampled it. So let's do the same, right? Let's get into it. Let's get into the sampling. It's what we're all here for. Or are you here for the history? I don't know. I try and keep a balance. But before I get into that, I need to make an introduction, as always, to my co-host, the boss man, Dr. Sample. How we doing today, Doctor?
Hey!
Hello to you too. Are you ready to sample?
Hey!
Good, I'm ready too. So today we're sampling Soup for One. It all comes from the intro. So let's pull in that intro. So as you saw there, I was testing you to see if you would see if I was recording or not. You gotta watch out, make sure you're recording. So now we have that section here at the beginning. And what Modjo, the two lads, did was just looped 3 sections of that, right? So the difference here is it wasn't like they weren't taking the bass line loop, or they weren't directly looping that bit. They took 3 bits and did their own mini loops, right? So a bit different to how some of the other ones worked. And they didn't use Bernard's bass as much, but they threw their own really good bass line under this loop. So they kind of like took a bit of Chic and added their own bass and just made the amazing song. But let's get into the chop. I'm going to use this as my A, and I'm going to resample for a B and a C. Let's do that. So I have the A and the B, and I got to listen through to that one more time. So now I have that has been essentially resampled. You can think of it as almost copying and pasting or retaping. I use that analogy a lot because I grew up like sampling or making stuff on cassette tape. So it always reminds you of the amount of time you have to keep retaping. This is how I think of this beautiful machine. The Doctor. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Hey!
So let's get our bits in. Starting off with the first bit. Okay, so how does that sound? We're getting there. Let's do the second bit. And because of my recording error, we have to hear Soup for One every time. Okay, so we got a beat. Not quite my tempo. All right, and C. So now we have A, B, and C, and this is what they essentially made their groove out of. Let's give it a whack. Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right. I feel love for the first time. Can't you see? You're my delight. Baby, I just feel like I can't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes. You get it. But what we should do really is, I'm always hesitant to do it, and I hate to say it in front of Dr. Sample, hey! But the pitching and time editing is bad, right? That's just the simple way about it on this machine. And I am debating with moving to the SP303 Mark II, which gives me way more control, but loses the essence of the Doctor. Hey! That's right, he's getting angry now, but why don't we resample that in and we can take a quick look at the pitch and time. Put it into number 8. So So you can hear it, but like I said, that pitch just crumbles it, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Degenerates it. I had it before, it's gone out of my head. Sometimes I forget words, but you can hear. That's the tune, right? And that is what ended up being Lady. They put lovely drums, bass, and of course the vocals. Lady, hear me tonight instead of tonight. Delight instead of delight. That's the French touch, and that's what we're all about. Hope you enjoyed. Put some requests in the comments. Drop a subscription if you're feeling cheeky, and I'll catch you next time.